Hey fellow Vault wearers, it's Angry Turtle and we are getting update to the PTS and legendary changes that are no good if you are using power armor or if you are hoping for like a legitimate weapon with similar power to a legacy weapons. Not gonna happen. But let's go over the details. Thanks thing that is good. They added update logs on the website now, where you can track what was changed and when during the PTS. What's really handy is it's sometimes not easy to figure out what's going on if someone just jumping in and didn't start with each edition of PTS. And PTS stands for Public Test Server, for those of you that still ask for it. Public Test Server for the incoming update. And here we go, the recent PTS update for June 4. And yeah, let's see what happened. First, some good news, some bug fixes, a lot of bug fixes really. Like Survival Tent, this APC Survival Tent will receive Stash Box. There's some other fixes, weapon workbenches, no longer causes the player to be flying backwards. Like there's a lot of little bug fixes that are good. And now we go into more juicy stuff, legendary changes, crafting. Anti-Scotch training pistol is now eligible for legendary crafting. I don't know how important that is, but it is here. Then public events were fixed to correctly drop legendary cores, including daily ops. What's good, there will be proper amount of cores, as some of them were not dropping before on PTS, then now that's fixed. Last shot, I don't even know what was the issue, but was fixed. It's not the effect anyone will be really using, unless you will be unlucky to get it on your weapon, and there will be no chance to change it, then it's a bad one. Crafting legendary mods will no longer kick players out of the workbench. That's good. That's always good. And here, unyielding is no longer available to power armor. Like, wow. The one that I actually wanted. I do understand that all the outrage from people that are using commando build, they do want to keep this advantage. And I don't even want all those effects. I was just hoping, you know why I wanted unyielding on my power armor? I wanted to farm experience in my power armor. I need this extra 15 intelligence to farm experience efficiently, as I don't have full day to keep running around and farming experience. I have only limited time after work to play, and unyielding is helping me a lot with leveling up. Then, yeah, that's gone now. No way, no unyielding. And here, what I want to mention, they didn't remove weightless or less limb damage legendary effects from power armor that do absolutely nothing. Then they leave rubbish in, they remove unyielding, and previously, they remove overeaters without even telling us that it's not available. But we tested it, crafting hundreds of pieces. Overeaters, it's not available on power armor. Next, Stalkers is no longer available to melee weapons. That's a good change because it was doing absolutely nothing. It's removed. There is some other changes. There is more possible effects for melee weapons now. They noticed that actually you can VATS with melee, and we even have a legendary perk to use VATS with melee. Therefore, VATS critical is now available for melee weapons. VATS critical meter filling up faster available, and less AP cost is available. Like the first one and the last one, those are really good additions. I don't think anyone really is excited about this one, but yeah, those are good additions. They did improvements to melee weapons. Then if you are melee, you will be probably happy. Unless you wanted to use melee in power armor, then yeah, it's still not an option because unyielding not available. Next, all black powder weapons can now receive explosive legendary mod. I'm curious what they did about dragons with explosive effect. Did they fix it? I will test it later. Next, heavyweight was totally scrapped from legendary mod pool. It was actually a cool one. Something new, removed. Then it's no longer the case in here. The quad legendary effect was added back to legendary pool on heavy weapons, all those automatic heavy weapons, with exception of weapons that are using plasma cores or fusion cores. Then those are only exceptions now. Then other heavy weapons like LMG, you will be able to get quad, what will be awesome on light machine gun. The only downside will be still cost of 308 ammo. Next we have the quad mod can now be rolled when the automatic receiver is attached to the weapon. Then it's weird one. Like automatic receiver is attached to the weapon? What does it mean? I don't know. Maybe previously it was not possible if you had automatic receiver to roll quad. It's probably what they fix. I'm not 100% sure on this one. Next, dissipating legendary mode will no longer trigger when the player is in combat. And if you are confused about this one, it's okay, because this dissipating, it's this new mod that heals your rats. Then this is the one that most people do not want on 3rd star on armor. Therefore, this fix is not really relevant. They made it even weaker. It will not work in combat now. I don't know for what it is, really, this effect. I think it's mainly to dilute the pool. A lot of new effects that were added in order to dilute the legendary pool are still there. None of those were removed. Only the good ones were removed. Address an issue where item names would not dynamically change when the player first applies a legendary mode. That is good quality of a life change. At least it's more intuitive when it's changed correctly. Then that's good. Next, we have some UI changes. A tutorial screen giving an overview of the legendary crafting system will now appear when receiving a legendary core for the first time. What's really handy for new players. Next one, crafting legendary mods will trigger a flyout UI prompt highlighting which legendary mods were generated. We're already able to see it partially implemented in previous patch. Then we'll see now if it's working on power armor as well or not, this UI change. Then we have a lot of bug fixes related to NPCs, quests, and important ones, perks. Born Survival, the bug that was allowing Born Survival to be triggered after you died, was fixed. What's good? And then a bunch of quests related, then we'll not stop on that, not read it. It's not everyone want spoilers included in those bug fixes. Then bows. Weapon changes, bows. Address an issue where only the first arrow being shot from a bow dealt damage to enemies. I'd never experienced it on the live game, then maybe it was a PTS exclusive bug. Knives. Address an animation issue while holding knives. Gamma gun. That's a good one here. Let's see gamma gun fixes. Fix an issue with the base gamma gun dealing less damage than intended. That's interesting. And second one. Gamma gun no longer uses charging damage with the charging mod attached. And this is a little bit confused because it should use charging damage with the charging mod attached. Maybe, I think it should be without the charging mod attached. Not with, but without. That will make more sense. And that's my theory, but I will test it in game when the PTS will go live. And big one for everyone here. It doesn't look like, but it is. Floater grenades can now be traded and sold, what means no longer you will need to keep dropping them one by one to get rid of those floater grenades that are rewarded from every mission and quest. That's a big one. That's a big one and positive one. At least we are ending with some positive note. And, of course, a bad news for the Peppa Shaker at the end. Can no longer receive the explosive legendary mode. Of course, it was working. It was actually good. You were able to see it was almost as good as Legacy. Not quite as good. It was still weaker than Legacy, but almost. It was halfway there. Therefore, legendary effect was removed and will no longer be available for Peppa Shaker. Don't know. I don't know why Bethesda really want to push this black market so hard with legacy weapons, but who knows? They will never tell us. And last one, Gatling Plasma. There was this bug that you couldn't load any ammo even though you had a plasma cores. Then it was fixed. It's plasma cores, not plasma code. There is no plasma code. They meant core. And yeah, it was fixed and it will now recognize ammunition. What's great. And one more. Sound bug fix again. Hopefully this time fully. Floaters shouldn't do the sound bug anymore. We'll see. Then as usually at the end of PTS testing there will be way less updates than Therefore, if you are not happy with any of those changes, don't forget to tell Bethesda about it. Maybe they will change something. And here below you have just patch notes from previous updates that will not go over in here. But yes, definitely let me know in the comment section what you think. Are you with me or are you against me? Do you agree, you disagree? It's all fine. Just let us know what's your position on those changes and why. The why is important part. And now as always, thank you all for watching and see you guys in the next one.